Do we want to... We don't want to discard anything, do we? We like all our stuff. I have a green recording light, but I think we're recording. So, hello anybody out there. This is Tpull's Corner, and we've got a new deck, and it's a series of exploring the color pie with containment. Artifact creature hasn't. What are angels doing hanging out with all these vampires like that? Okay. So we're going to attack again. This time we'll put the counter on Raiju. I would expect a double block at this point. No, block everybody? That doesn't make any sense. There we go. That's what I expected. Let's get rid of the slaughter specialist. He's still trying to be on the offensive, huh? It's a mistake. I can double block. No, we don't want to double block because he can pump that up one more if he wants to. That's what we've been looking for. Attack! Why do you pump it up now? That makes zero sense. Yeah, oops, indeed. I think Unite better stop attacking. It looks like he geared this to be a very aggressive deck. Very cheap spells. Kind of black and white aggro. Why are you still attacking? How do we want to do this? That gave him lifelink. And that gives him flying, right? 3, 4, 5. He shouldn't be able to kill me. So let's channel this. That way we get to use the Containment Construct's ability. And we actually get to place the land. Oh, I already have a copy in play. I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, never mind. They have haste. Okay, we lose the land, but I think that's still the right play. We got him in for hitting for 2. Hitting us for 4 does nothing compared to all the damage he's about to take that he can't block. Come on, get down there. And let's go get some devils. Right. It's good. We're doing mono red, and that tends to be the aggro. So it's good that we can take on other aggro decks. Let's see, what card did we get? Refuse to yield. Some people have been saying that's actually a bad card, but in the right situation, it could be good. Oh, let's go ahead and show you the deck first before we go into our next match. Containment Breach is what we're calling this one. Okay, what have we done so far? We did white, green, and blue, I believe. So this is the 4th one. I recently got a 2nd copy of Ogre Headhelm. That's cool. As always, Containment Construct. You discard a card, you exile it from your graveyard, and then you can play the card as long as you have enough mana for it. So what we wanted to do was look for things that we could discard and still play. And how would that go well with red instead of all the other colors? So we do have to have some removal. So there's a Flame Blessed Bolt. Reinforced Ronin should be ideal for this. We can channel it as long as we have 3 mana, and there's everything that I do, every card that I talk about, we're assuming that Containment Construct is already on the battlefield. Okay, if we have 3 mana, we can channel Reinforced Ronin, discard him, and then play him with the Construct's ability with the 3rd mana, so we can get a free card draw and still get him down onto the field and attack each turn. Another removal with Strangle. Then we got Voldaren Epicure, does damage and creates a blood token. That blood token allows us to draw and discard whenever we want. Falconwrath Perforator, when it attacks, it deals 1 damage to defending player. Ogre Headhelm, we can equip this and give equipped creature +2/+2, so we can make things bigger, or either way, when Ogre Headhelm or the equipped creature deals combat damage, you can sacrifice it. If you do, you discard your hand and draw 3 cards. That's ideal because, you know, maybe we don't have any cards in our hand anyway, and we just get a free 3 card draw. But if we time it right and we do this when we have a card in our hand, we may not care if we discard because we've got enough mana to still play it. Riveteer's Requisitioner, when it dies, you create a treasure token. We could blitz this. It could come down, attack, dies, we draw a card. It's kind of fun. Balduvian Berserker. I got 2 of those. They have the enlist ability because they're from Dominaria. When they attack, you can tap a non-attacking creature you control without summoning sickness and add the creature's power. Since I don't want to lose my containment constructs, since they're the key to the deck, I don't want to attack with them. So they're ideal. I can't really use a 2/1 creature as a blocker either. So these guys are ideal to give an extra 2 power and make them 3/3s at the very least. And then if my opponent decides to kill them, then I still get to do 3 points of damage to somebody. So it can either go straight to their face, or it can maybe help take out a 6/6 if they block me with a 6/6 creature. We have Daybreak Combatants. They have haste. If we get to a point where we're discarding these guys, we could channel them in, right? Or not channel them in, but we could still pay the money and bring them in, and they'd have haste and attack the same turn. I have 1 copy of Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And the second stage there is you can discard up to 2 cards, and if you do, draw that many cards. So depending on, we could get a free land draw out of it, whatever. Maybe this is the perfect time. If we have enough mana, we could discard 2 cards, play those 2 cards, and still get a 2 card draw out of it. So that's a free 2 card draw. Again, Construct would be on the battlefield, and we'd have to have enough mana to pay for those 2 cards. Professional Facebreaker's got Menace. When you deal combat damage, you can create a treasure. So the idea between including Facebreaker and Requisitioner is basically to give me a chance to get some extra treasures to make sure I do have the mana to cast what I need to cast when I need to cast it. As in all the other decks, a Network Terminal to force a discard when I want it, and 2 Celestis to do the same thing, give me an extra mana. Jaxus the Troublemaker. Only 2 copies because it's legendary, so I don't want to have an extra legendary copy eating up too much in my hand all the time. So I didn't want to do 4 copies. But you can discard a card, create a token that's a copy of another target creature, it gains haste, and when it dies you draw a card and you sacrifice that token. So, you know, even if we want to discard a land at the beginning of our turn, we could tap 1 mountain, discard a land, play the land, and just doing that, we've made sure that we've made our land drop. We haven't really lost a card, and we get to create a free token creature to go attack, which gives us another draw card afterwards. So that's awesome. Moonveil Regent. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. So this is good if you, again, if your hand's empty or you only have 1 card. When it dies, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control, which would only be 1 because we're mono red. So not the greatest way to take advantage of that particular ability, but you know, you can't have everything. In case we go up against flyers, we've got Twin Shot Sniper that have reach, or when they enter the battlefield, you do 2 damage to any target. If we have 6 mana, we can do both of these things. We can channel it, deal 2 damage to any target, and then pay 4 more, again, with Construct's ability, just to bring it back down to the battlefield. So we're doing 4 damage to any target instead of 2, and we get a 2/3 reach. That is good value. Atsushi, the Blazing Sky. Because, you know, there's a lot of flyers. This is a really good blocker. And when it dies, we could, depending on what we need, I imagine usually we'd need the mana, so we'd probably create the treasure tokens. But if we're in a really good place, we could just exile the top 2 cards of our library and play those. Ill-Tempered Loner, when it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. When it flips, whenever any permanent you control is dealt damage, Howlback Avenger deals that much damage to any target. This is an awesome card if we could get it down at the same time as... where is he? Jaxus. If Jaxus could make a copy of Ill-Tempered Loner when it's nighttime, that would be awesome. And we have Celestis to make it nighttime if we need to. The Elder Dragon War deals 2 damage to each creature and each opponent. If we have Containment Construct on the board, we're probably going to skip phase 1. But number 2, discard any number of cards. So whatever we feel we can keep and salvage with Containment Construct, that's what we're going to discard. And then finally we'll create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. After that, Thundering Raiju, a 3/3 with haste. Whenever he attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then, Thundering Raiju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raiju. Half the time I'm putting the counter on Thundering Raiju just to make sure that he's big enough that he can't be blocked without dying. We do have trouble with swarm decks in this meta. People go wide pretty fast, so I've got 2 board wipes just in case. Especially the green-white Selesnya, they seem to have no problem creating just tons of 1/1s and 2/2s. So, also you got like zombie decks you have to worry about that scale up fast, so you want to try and get this out. Have it ready by turn 5 if you can, so you can take out any 5/5 zombies. Pugnacious Pugilist. Whenever it attacks, create a tapped and attacking devil creature token. And you can blitz them out as well. Let's see. And the part of the reason that I included the blitz also, the blitz creatures. If I have to use those for discard, I can blitz them in, and if I didn't have enough full mana, but I really felt like I had to do it, I could just blitz them instead for a cheaper cost. So it's nice to have that option. To go ahead and still take advantage of Containment Construct's ability earlier in the game, even though I might not be able to keep the particular creature around. I might be willing to blitz him if it means that I can still, you know, do the discard play construct mechanic thing. Next, Volatile Arsonist, Menace and Haste, dealing damage to 1 target creature, player, and or 1 target planeswalker. 1 Pyre Spawn. When Pyre Spawn dies, it deals 3 damage to any target. That would be great to make tokens of with Jaxus. And then Ragefire Hellkite, whenever it attacks, you can sacrifice another creature. If you do, Ragefire Hellkite gains double strike until end of turn. Again, I want to pair that with Jaxus if I can. I'll make a cheap, you know, copy of Containment Construct, sacrifice that, and give him double strike. So let's take a look. We got 24 lands, right, as always. We've got 27 creatures, which is kind of the most I usually have. And what was my average mana? It's 3.0 on the dot. And to take advantage of Containment Construct's ability, we also have 3 Sekenzans, so we can channel, discard them, and if we don't already have a legendary land on the play, we can still actually play the land as well. So again, this is sort of like playing with the landfall deck. You've got to remember not to necessarily play your land first, but wait and see what you can do with the construct and then decide when you're going to play your land. Or maybe you'll discard a land and then play it. Just because we want to save all of our stuff, we want to use it, we want to get extra value that the other player isn't getting off of his cards. That's what Containment Construct allows us to do. Instead of either or, it's both. We want to have our cake and eat it, and with Containment Construct we can actually do that. I usually keep red as one of the final colors just because on my concept decks I find it hard to play mono red. Mono red has a serious disadvantage in that it can't do anything against enchantments. So just even an enchantment on turn 3 can totally just hose you for the rest of the match. And our other player is MIA. Yeah, you know, we have 3 of these, so it's not too bad to have one up front. We may not be able to get full value out of it, but it still works as a land. And we've got, if you notice, we've got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4 mana curve. It's nice to finally have 4 copies of Reinforced Ronin. Just because that means that you almost always end up with them 1 copy in your opening hand, or your first draw. Turn 2 is always Containment Construct, because if we get a 3rd land we can start getting card draw advantage. Although, we might just switch to Balduvian Berserker. We'll see how things go here. Do we get our land? We only have like 9 non-creature spells, so maybe that won't hurt us too much. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the Berserker. If they want to attack, we're going to just assume they have battle tactics and we're going to let them. Do I want to forget about channeling and just bring that down now, or do I want to save it? Let's do this. Next. Enlist. I really should have used the channeling ability, so I missed out on a card draw there, but I didn't know what I was going to do. But really, I should have channeled it first. I had enough mana. He doesn't want to give up any of his stuff. That's a gross card. I don't have enough mana to take advantage of the sniper in the way that I really want to. Shoot. It really sucks not getting a 4th land. Let's go ahead and just channel this now and draw. We can't play that on his turn anyway. We didn't get the land. Shoot. We are in so much trouble now. There's just not much for it. If you can't make your land drops, you're going to be dead in the water. Especially against weenie white deck. I mean, the whole point is they're designed to empty their hand by turn 5. And I'm based on attack. These don't make good defenders. And all these guys kind of build on each other. He could attack with more. He could be more aggressive. There we go. Just needed a second for him to realize that. Now I get that. That's a little late. Okay, we'll get rid of the veteran. Decreases everybody's power by 1. I think I have to use the rest of his chump blockers and wait for Burn Down the House to show up. I think that's the only way I'm going to survive. It's not a good strategy, but it's all I got. He went ahead and used the ability already. I was hoping he wouldn't. I guess that was his best play. And I have to chump block. There is no way. Look at all that. Two, three, four. That's not even enough to kill him. All I can do is kill him and chump block once there. And I don't think I have enough time to get a 5th land and burn down the house. Just missing the land drop's atrocious. And on a mono-red aggro deck too. That's just disgusting. Let's see. I'm gonna lose. I guess we just take out the Lunarch veteran. We'll take out one of those. I'm pretty much dead. Yeah. I mean, we can put him down. And wait for our destruction. I don't want to wait. Was that a top deck, or was he holding on to that for something special? Yeah, that's just missing land drops. When you're facing the small weenie decks, you just cannot miss a land drop. That's all it takes to kill you. The only other way I could get around that is if I'd had a global damage effect, but even with that he had Thalia out, and that would have cost an extra mana, so me having land problems alone still probably wouldn't have helped. Oh, now it gives me all the land. Oh, are you making up for something? Are you making up for it now, game? Did you feel guilty about what you did to me last turn? Mandatory loss. Our opponent is WTH for what the heck is in, or why the heck is in why the heck are you waiting so long? There we go. Requisitioner comes down. He's not the most impressive, but for a 2-drop, he's not bad for an aggro deck. Considering what we just went through, getting the treasure is cool. Let's see. Discard a card. He'd probably be willing to do that. Especially right now. We're going to do it. Ideally, white should be willing, when they've got this many cards in their hand, to discard a card and give the Guardian indestructible. If you're not willing to do that with 6 cards in your hand, then maybe you've misconfigured your deck. If you're not the type that's willing to sacrifice a card in the hand to keep your creature, that's good news for us, I think, overall. I kind of like the artwork there. Although, having all 5 colors there makes me think that they should have done something to have a 5-color effect in it. Seems like a missed opportunity. Okay, spent a long time thinking about that. Maybe this is the first time playing the game. It's one of the differences between this game and chess. Although there's a lot of decisions to make in this game, and there can be a lot of strategy, it usually takes a lot longer to sort through all the possible maneuvers in your mind in chess. With this game, I feel it's still simpler because you've got a limited amount of mana. And, you know, there's not 200,000 potential combinations of moves that you can do with 4 or 5 cards. So I find that I need to practice the same patience when I used to play in chess tournaments as when I play this game, just waiting for my opponent to move. It's different when you're playing chess. You have something you can do with your brain. You can be analyzing the board. You can be thinking about what they're going to do. You can be planning your next step. Here, I just want to put down Containment Construct next turn. So that's all I'm going to have good enough mana to do. So it's pretty simple. Don't have anything against artifacts yet. Maybe I should. All right. Containment Construct comes down. What do they have that's holding up priority? They don't have any free mana. They can discard a card each time. They don't realize they're holding priority probably. Every time they can discard a card at any phase during this entire thing. But it's a useless ability right now. Until they figure it out. This is going to be a long game. Come on, buddy. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. Just press the button. Just press it. Hello? Please understand. There we go. I knew you could do it. Stay with me. Don't walk away from the computer. Just play the game, dude. What the hell, man? Okay, it's going to be entirely your turn. It's all up to you. You can do it. Oh, that was so agonizing. He chose Fateful Absence. I don't have Fateful Absence in my hand. This is weird. Alright. We can do this. We'll channel. Create the spirit creature tokens. And we still get to play the land. So Containment Construct is already at play. We're getting double value out of the legendary land. We don't just play the land. We don't just get the 2/1/1s. We get 2/1/1s and we get to play the land. And we wait for my opponent to decide if he wants to discard a card for no reason to make Guardian indestructible. I like how you can make the legendary land bounce up and down depending on what card I hover over. Take action. Wait for the other player to decide what he's going to do. Wait for him to realize he just needs to click a button. Finally play our land. We can't get through to that. Let's go ahead and attack. The 1/1s we will simply use as chump blockers, especially if he uses the Annoyed Peacekeeper. And we can cast down, burn down the house whenever we need to, whenever they put out something that merits destruction. We're already close with those two creatures, but he could still save the Guardian by discarding a card. So I kind of want to try and get him empty. I want to get his hand empty, and then do burn down the house. Which means I'll need to probably commit the Pugnacious Pugilist. That's all we're going to do this turn. And now I have to wonder if my opponent just still doesn't understand how priority works in the game, or if he actually left. All I did was channel the card, which doesn't count as casting a spell, so that's why we're flipping from day to night. I don't have anything to take advantage of the construct's capabilities this turn. Very rarely can I do anything when my opponent's turn begins. So there is another way. If I was willing to maybe take out the second copy of Celestis, I'd have room for another instant. And if it was a cheap instant, like a 1-mana instant, I could toss away that card and still cast it. So it's something to think about. It's another way to construct your deck. I decided to go creature heavy for the most part. Creature heavy with just a couple of board wipes. Hey, look at that. It's almost time for a board wipe. They're tapped out. We certainly don't mind chum blocking. And with the life gain capability, I probably want to go ahead and burn down the house now. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, and I'd basically be losing 4 mana. Assuming they'll discard a card to save the Guardian. That seems like a good trade. And they're there, so they are playing the game, because they just put down Benalia's Hope. Are they not paying attention to the little button that says go next? Okay, we don't want to attack either because of the life gain, so we're just going to burn down the house. Let's just tell him. See if it occurs to him. He's actually got a decision to make now. The one thing that's been holding up priority for the entire match is a relevant choice now. He should be willing to discard a card, and he's not. So we even get value out of our guy dying. And let's see, 3, 4, 5. You know what? We can do this. We can bring this puppy down now. Auto pay with the treasure. Get an extra 2 points in, and we get the card back. Now, really, my opponent has almost perfect knowledge, right? I think he doesn't know that we have Jaxus, but he knows the other 3 cards we have, so he should know this is a dead card for us. So you going to read ahead or just do the first one? I don't have a copy of this card yet. I like it. Does it... Is that Urza and Urza? Looks like it might be. I'm not sure. I haven't read the story yet. He's doing the first. He didn't get a Planeswalker in the top 4. So we can afford to put down Containment Construct, which means we can afford to channel and draw a card. And we get another Containment Construct. And we can come down and hit him for 2 with a haste attack. And I love it when a plan comes together. Now, if he already had a Planeswalker in his other 2 cards, he can really hurt me now. If not, I think he kind of messed up using the card now, because if he didn't find one with the Scry 4, that means chapters 2 and 3 are worthless after that. Is he banking on finding a Planeswalker? This is one of the things that's normally better combined with a white-blue deck, so that you can use more scrying capability ahead of time. So if you don't already have a Planeswalker, you get an idea that it's coming up. Okay, we can draw a card. We can discard that card. We can use the Containment Construct's ability to play a land. So we still get our land. And we got a free draw out of it. We can get another card draw. Same way we did last time. So Containment Construct is really earning his keep. So we just get to refill our hand. And if we can do the... If we can get a land drop every time we do the card draw between our regular card draw and our extra card draws, we should start to build up enough mana that we can do other stuff other than the 2 points per turn. We kind of have the luxury of time right now. And let's go ahead and do something else we can afford to do. And if he's not going to do anything, we might as well attack with Containment Construct at this point. The advantage of continuing to do Reinforced Ronin and not spend a whole turn putting it on the Pugilist is he might have a board wipe. And it makes them reluctant it makes the white reluctant to play a board wipe if they know that they're going to have to deal with the Ronin the very next turn. Especially when they get that low on life. So all in all, this is working out even better than the green and blue decks were. I mean, the whole point about white is being able to build up their army. You know, 2, 3, 5 mana curve there. We're going to use the Celestis. No, we're not. This is still going to be my opponent's turn, right? Decline. I mean, technically, I should be willing to ditch the Celestis, but white has the ability to destroy artifacts and enchantments. And at 22 health, we kind of have the luxury of time, right? I think we do. Let's see, that's a 5/5. We get to play our land, we get to play the Ronin. And we're just attacking for 3 creatures anyway. 5/5 doesn't help when you got 3 creatures to block against. The Ronin did most of the damage the entire match to him, so if he's got any sense of justice, he'll still stop and block the Ronin on his way to death. So this is a classic example of the card, how it works, how we used it for the card draw advantage. And I don't even think we maximized our play. We probably had at least 1 or 2 other places in there, like ditching the extra Celestis, where we could have gone even further. But like I said, we kind of had the luxury to play a tiny bit sloppy here. Didn't even block. Alright, let's play one more match that hopefully won't take quite so long. Hopefully our opponent doesn't pause for 30 seconds every single time. And let's just see if we can repeat the performance. If anybody's been checking out my gold supply, it's been slowly dwindling. I've been doing a lot of quick drafts of Kamigawa and been getting lots of good cards. So I'm glad I did. I think my collection is 87% complete. It's going to be a slog to try and get the rest of it. And with my luck, it'll rotate out before I complete it, but I did get some good cards out of my drafts. And first draw is our Ronin. So if we don't have it in our opening hand, good odds it'll be the next draw. Are we playing mono red aggro or something else? Second turn is always Containment Construct if you have them. Because then if he stays on the board, you get... Oh, hello. We get this. Free 2 points of damage because they're not doing anything, which is strange for red aggro by turn 2. Ah, red-blue, that's why. Do they understand the value that Construct provides me? Maybe not. When do we cast a non-creature spell? Okay. So we're going to do our land drop. Discard. Get the free card draw out of it. Play Ronin. Attack with Enlist and attack with that. We'll tap the Construct to give the Berserker 3. He doesn't want to give up his Iconoclast because that's how he's going to create blockers. So 5 points of damage. Fading Hope. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We'll still go get our card draw. Don't mind getting lands at all. We will enlist with the Berserker and still attack with the Ronin. Oh no, I can't do the enlist undeclare. We'll just have to attack. Because the Containment Construct has Summoning Sickness, so we can't pump him up. So he saves 1 point of damage instead of blocking the Ronin and getting 2, which is weird to me. He didn't really do much. So, Celestis, do you have a counterspell? That's a lot of cards. Should have an extra land by now, right? Throws away a Seize the Storm and an Abrade. Interesting choices. What do we want to do? Card draw? Card draw it is. And now we can enlist, because this does not have Summoning Sickness. Tap that for the enlist, give the Berserker 3. Chump block. Takes 2 more points of damage. We still got a full hand. Which is very strange and abnormal for red aggro, and part of the reason why they run out of steam against decks like blue control decks that always have all these cards in their hand because of their card draw spells. So this is kind of what gives red aggro hope against this kind of a deal.
Of course you should fight fire. The experience will do you good.
He actually attacked? Wow. What else can we do? You know what? We have enough mana after all that. We can still get a card draw and play the Ronin. And now I'm actually kind of flooding out on land. We will enlist like always. We're going to head for that. We'll attack. We're going to try and take out the Planeswalker. Tap the Construct. Always saving the Construct so it can provide value. And they should be willing to chump block both. So despite the theme of their deck, and using this to create a big ol' army, we are keeping them under control. And now he can't even attack with the Iconoclast. Now he might have a burn down the house, but that doesn't stop Reinforced Ronin. He finally understands what the Construct can do. Okay.
Go on. Impress me.
All right. So we can't channel that now, finally. So let's just start filling out the curve with other things. Got my flyer. How about Jaxus? And we're done. See, I lose the Construct and suddenly I'm up a creek. How do I take out a 6/6? My Berserker doesn't have trample.
A blast to the noggin gets results.
He got rid of my Jaxus. What a pudwhacker. Okay, what do we want to do? Get a life, discard cards that we don't need, attack, enlist, go after the Planeswalker, tap the Pugilist, so we have a 5/3. The chump block, we bring down Facebreaker. I'm going to save the land for discard. We've got 8 lands. That should be enough for us. Having a 6/6 does make things more difficult. Oh, he's got an enlist. So emptying his hand. But now he has 6
Taught them
creatures.
everything they know.
Fine by me. Let's see. Take that. Bring down Fatal Veneerbreaker. Bring down Requisitioner. And enlist. Go after the Planeswalker. Tap the biggest, most powerful guy I have. They're just chump blocking again. And Reinforced Ronin isn't helping me right now. He goes away. Decline. Great. How's that for a top deck? That's disgusting.
Get out there and blaze a path.
And out of all the counterspells, he had one counterspell and he used it on my flyer. The one thing that really could have helped me. Did he exile? He exiled to burn down the house. He's just going to create the devils, isn't he?
Oh,
no, he actually did the board wipe.
Sizzle.
Okay, so we deal 3 damage to you. Or is that just 1 damage? Okay. Then we exile it with that. Auto pay. At least we get rid of one of them. Alright, discard. No. We're just playing what we got. He can't attack right now because he only has 7 life left. But he's got flashback. And that may give him all that he feels he needs. It does not actually. We've got some nice plays here. Okay, we're kind of happy he did that. Does he think he can attack?
Taught
He
them
probably does now.
everything they know.
Okay, my guy does not have haste, so I can't use him to create a token. He can double block there and let the ill-tempered loner through. But what if I make it nighttime? The life gain may not be enough. Land doesn't help, but now it's nighttime. Whenever a permanent is dealt damage. I think I got him no matter what. We'll place that anyway. And we're just going to attack with both. Deal 2 damage up to 1 creature, blah blah blah. We'll get rid of that. And we get to do that, and we kill the Planeswalker, the 3rd blocker, and do 2 damage to him.
I'll be fine.
He can't double block because he decided to attack. Ta-da! It all worked out. Took some thinking, but having the construct left alone to give us the card draw advantage and build up so much mana and still maintain so many options in our hand was ideal. This might be... I might like this better than the white deck, which I did not expect. This is kind of a surprise. Let's take one final look at the deck before we head off into the pasture for the day. I'm kind of excited about this deck now. I think this is a keeper. It's not quite as mindlessly quick as most mono red aggro. It does have a lot of 1 and 2 drops, but it's a little bit more of an intellectual way to do mono red, which keeps me entertained and keeps my mind occupied, because I mean, I could just make mono red, but I like doing mono red this way. I think this is my favorite mono red deck ever. So Reinforced Ronin does great with Containment Construct. It's like they were made for each other. They were the same expansion. It's possible that we need to get rid of a Celestis. We don't need the spare, possibly. Although, if we don't have the spare, we might not get it early on, which is really helpful. I just don't know. It's happening quite a bit where I have 2 copies in my hand, and they're not doing anything against it. I would like to get... I've got a 2nd copy of Overhead Helm, but I think it's pushing it to try and jam that in there. I already have Jaxus. Twin Shot Sniper, when it's around, it does really good. I almost wish that I could afford to put more in there, but I really need the flyer, even though it got counterspelled. Ill-Tempered Loner helped me win the game. I ain't getting rid of that. It's a good mix of all these different cards, different expansions. I think I'm really happy with the way things turned out, and we got to a point where if the game was dragging on and taking too long, we had that. Alright, we'll leave it there. That's the deck. Let me know if you would change anything about it. In the meantime, the deck list is published below. You can take it out for a spin and use it as you would like to yourself, and maybe you want to experiment with it some more. Anyway, this has been Travis for Tpull's Corner. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one.